Story time. This is Emeka's story. Enjoy. In the heart of Lagos, Nigeria, a city where the sun rose over crowded markets and the streets pulsed with energy, lived a young boy named Emeka. At just 15 years old, he stood small amidst the towering buildings, but his dreams reached far beyond the clouds. By day, Emeka helped his mother sell tomatoes and peppers at the bustling Oyinbo market. The air was thick with the aroma of roasted corn and the cries of vendors calling out their wares. Emeka weaved through the chaos with ease, balancing baskets and counting change. But while his hands worked the market, his mind danced with visions of a future where he was more than just a boy behind a vegetable stall. Each evening, after the market's dust had settled and the city's noise softened into the hum of generators, Emeka would sit at a rickety wooden table. A small lantern flickered beside him, casting long shadows on the walls of their tiny apartment. With a pencil worn down to a stub and a stack of worn-out notebooks, he sketched machines, bridges that connected rivers, engines that ran on the wind, and buildings that soared higher than the clouds. His classmates at school would sometimes chuckle at his dreams. How can a market boy become an engineer? They teased. But Emeka's resolve only grew stronger. Every morning, he would arrive at school before dawn to study, and every evening he stayed up past bedtime to learn from borrowed textbooks. He soaked up knowledge like the dry harmattan wind drank the rain. One day, his science teacher announced a city-wide competition. Design a project that can solve a real-world problem. Emeka's heart raced. He scavenged for broken radios, wires, and old batteries. Piece by piece, he assembled a small generator, a machine that could light up a bulb using scraps most people had thrown away. Night after night, he tested and tweaked his creation until finally it worked. On the day of the competition, Emeka's mother pressed his best shirt, and though it was slightly too big, he wore it proudly. He stood before the judges, his voice steady, his hands trembling ever so slightly as he explained how his generator could bring light to homes where darkness had always reigned. When the winner was announced, silence filled the hall, and then Emeka's name rang out. He felt as if the world had cracked open with light. He stepped onto the stage, his heart pounding like a drum, holding his small generator in one hand and a shining trophy in the other. Tears welled in his mother's eyes as she clapped from the crowd. His classmates, once doubters, now stared in awe. Emeka raised the trophy high above his head and shouted with every ounce of his heart, "Yes, dreams do come true. With hard work, determination, and dedication." I hope Emeka's story was able to inspire you. More so, I hope this amazing chicken suya recipe inspired you more. Thank you for watching. Until next time. Bye.